Processes involved in research. First of all, research is a systematic process of gathering, analyzing, and interpreting information to answer a specific question or solve a problem. The research process involves several steps, which are often iterative and cyclical in nature. The first step in the research process is to identify the research problem or question. This involves defining the scope of the research and identifying the key issues to be addressed. It is important to ensure that the research problem is clearly defined and that the objectives are specific and measurable. The next step is to review the literature to determine what has already been published on the topic. This involves conducting a thorough search of academic and professional databases to identify relevant articles, books, and other sources of information. The purpose of the literature review is to identify gaps in the existing knowledge base and to identify potential research questions. The third step is to develop a research design or methodology. This involves determining the approach that will be used to collect data, such as surveys, interviews, or experiments. It must be noted that the research design should be carefully planned to ensure that the data collected is valid, reliable, and relevant to the research question. The fourth step is to collect and analyze data. This involves gathering information through the chosen research method and using statistical tools to analyze the data. The analysis may involve identifying patterns, correlations, or other relationships between variables, of course, in the case of a quantitative research. The fifth step is to draw conclusions and make recommendations based on the data analysis. The conclusions should be based on the findings of the research and should be supported by evidence. The recommendations should be actionable and relevant to the research question. Finally, the research process involves communicating the results of the study. This may involve writing a research report, presenting the findings at a conference, or publishing the results in a peer-reviewed journal. The communication of the results is important to ensure that the research is widely disseminated and that others can learn from the findings. In conclusion, the research process is a complex and iterative process that involves several steps, including identifying the research question, reviewing the literature, developing a research design, collecting and analyzing data, drawing conclusions, and communicating the results. By following a rigorous research process, researchers can ensure that their findings are valid, reliable, and relevant to the research question.